So here I am on day one, just walking out of Alice Springs from the hostel up to Telegraph Station, which is where the trail actually starts officially. And I'm here alongside the Todd River, which, as you can see, is completely dry. Nothing in it whatsoever, which is normal. Has no permanent waterholes in it. I'm nervous, but I am excited. I'll say a little bit more once I settle into the walk. My first river crossing made much easier by the fact there's absolutely not a drop of water in it. And I'm not even on the trail yet. My new best friend is a refrigerated water dispenser at the toilet block.
The Larapinta Trail is a 231 kilometre multi-day hiking track through the West MacDonnell Ranges in Northern Territory, extending from the eastern terminus at Telegraph Station in Alice Springs out to the western terminus at Mount Sonder, one of the Northern Territory's highest mountains. The trail was conceived of in the 1990s by Alan Gins and was originally going to extend all the way to Mount Zile, but the remoteness and the limited access of the area meant that for safety reasons the trail ends at Mount Sonder. There are 12 sections within the track. However, most people take at least 14 days or more to complete the walk due to the hot weather even in winter and the rough and challenging terrain. The walk traverses up and down both the Chewings and Heathertree ranges, climbing peaks, following ridge lines, descending onto the Alice Valley via gorges, stony creek beds, waterholes and rivers. I'm travelling solo and I have 19 days to complete my journey, which allows me time for rest in the afternoons as well as a rest day at Ormiston Gorge.
The heat has really taken it out of me today, and I forgot to do any filming on the trail itself. But it was a 10.3 kilometre day from Wallaby Gap to Simpsons Gap, and it was hot. So I put up my umbrella. It broke the first time, but I managed to fix it and get that rigged up so that I could have a bit of shade hands-free, which was lovely. And it looks like I'm the only one at camp in Simpsons Gap tonight, which will be interesting. There is a school group somewhere nearby, but at the main camp it looks like I am the only one. So I've taken a campsite near the shelter. Hopefully there'll be no wildlife that bothers me tonight while I'm trying to sleep. I'll pack away all my food so that at least the smells won't attract them. There's water, there's a drop toilet, there's a shelter. It's very comfortable, and this is just divine. I mean, this is the actual gap that I'm in at the moment, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I got to camp at 12:30, and I dawdled around and got water and realised I hadn't had any lunch, put my tent up and dried that all out because it was wet. And now I'm just probably going to go back to camp and have a little bit of a rest. There's no one here at the gap at the moment, which is quite nice. Yeah, early night for me, I think, and I will be making an early start tomorrow because I've got a big day, another 17 kilometres, and apparently it's quite hard and it's going to be hot. So I will get up early tomorrow. I didn't get up early today, but I will get up early tomorrow. So unless something else eventful happens, I'm going to say goodnight and I'll see you tomorrow. It's day 3. I am heading off to Mulga Camp today, which is about 16.8 kilometres from Simpsons Gap, where I stayed last night. They're a lovely couple of people that ended up camping with me, so I wasn't alone. Another couple, Yana and Cliff, and another woman and a gentleman whose names I don't know, but they were all very friendly. We had a good chat, and we were in bed early. I was in bed at 7 because there's nothing to do once the sun goes down. But I woke at 4:30 and got up at about 5:20, I think. But I take ages to pack up, so I didn't hit the trail until after 7:30. I don't know what time it is now, about 8 o'clock. And it's beautiful. Good idea to get up early and get out before the heat. As you can see from the videos, the sun hasn't yet come over the ridge, and it's just gorgeous. It's really pretty. So I think we're heading into some much prettier territory today, or over the next couple of days, particularly once I come out of Stanley Chasm. 16.8 kilometres today. I should probably be done by lunchtime, in which case I'll have a rest and get out of the heat. I think there's a shelter there. And then if I feel up to it, apparently the next 10k's to Jay Creek is pretty easy. It should take about 2.5 hours, and I could potentially do that and get there before dark. I don't want to risk setting up in the dark. I might just relax and take it easy. I've got plenty of time. So yeah, that's what's on for today. It's 10:15 in the morning, and I've put my umbrella up, as you can see. That's how it's connected for anyone who wants to know. It's hot. It's hot already. As soon as the sun came up over the ridge, it was, really warm. So I stopped and had a break for 15 minutes and ate some food and topped up my electrolytes. And I should be in camp in another, 3 hours, I think. I'm a bit slower than I anticipated because of the heat, which is fine. It's really quite pretty out here today. There's a few wildflowers, not many. It's pretty quiet. I've seen a couple of people coming the other way, and that's about it. So I'll keep trudging on, and I'll probably, unless there's something interesting to look at, see you in camp. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got to Mulga Camp, and it was horrible, and there's no shelter and no one else was staying there, and I just thought, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. So I am now walking to Jay Creek, which is another 9.8 kilometres. It's already 2:45, as I said, so apparently this takes 2.5 hours. I should be rolling into camp at about, 5:30, and it will give me just enough daylight to set up my tent before the sun goes down at 6. It's a big day. It's going to be 27 kilometres altogether. Biggest day I've ever done as a pack carry. I'm already tired. That's how much I didn't want to stay at Mulga. So, yeah, I'll see you soon. 4 of my trip, and I'm here in the creek bed, which is actually the track, and you can see how rocky it is everywhere. That's actually the track. Yes, we're walking along there, and it's sandy, so when it's not rocky, it's sandy. 13.5 k's to do to get into Stanley Chasm today, and it's beautiful and cool in here, so I'm really enjoying it. I've only been going half an hour, and I decided to stop and take a picture and get the tripod out and just enjoy how beautiful this is. I pulled up pretty well after my big day yesterday. I thought I'd be much more stiff and sore than I am. I don't sleep all that well because my body keeps me awake, but I don't feel tired, so I'm getting enough sleep. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. It is just gorgeous. I think it's going to be another hot one today. I'm hoping that I can get up to Brinkley Buff before after it cools down a little bit on Tuesday. I think today's Sunday. I'm not really sure. And yeah, that's it for now. I just climbed up from down there. Bit puffed. I'm walking up there. Oh, it's hot. Climbed up to Miller's Flat, I think, and I've just climbed up here, and I'm going down there, and it's only about 9:30, but man, it is hot, really hot. And for today for lunch, I've got some dukkha vegetables. I've got some hummus that I made at home and that I've rehydrated, and some rice. So that's going to be lunch, and I'm just drying out my ground sheet in the sun, and kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it's beautiful. The birds are serenading me. That's my view. A hard life. And there we have it. That's my lunch. 2 of those. Yum. Monday. I think it's Monday the 17th, which is day 5 for me, and I am staying an extra day at Stanley Chasm because I've been sick overnight. I have had a little bit of gastro, and I don't really have too many other symptoms other than lethargy, and I've had some classic Coke, full sugar Coke, two bottles for lunch and some twisties, and I do feel a little bit better. So I've come into the chasm. Look how nice it is. I said that the other day at Simpsons Gap and it's almost the same. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to head out to Brinkley Bluff tomorrow, which is a 10k walk straight up the side of a mountain. I think it's about 700 meters elevation. I'll have over 20 kilos because I need 5 kilogram food drop and 5 or 6 litres of water, and it's going to be 28 degrees, so it is going to be an absolute bugger of a day, and that would be even without having had gastro. So I'm bracing myself for it to be quite full on. Luckily Cliff and Yana are also staying here tonight and they'll be with me tomorrow. At least they'll be at the camp even if we don't walk together, because they walk at a different pace. And yeah, it'll just be some moral support knowing that they're ahead of me and knowing that if I don't turn up, someone will notice. And yeah, I mean, I've got all the safety devices, but it's just psychological. So that's good. Yeah, I've been just pottering around. I've done all my washing, sorted out my food bag. I'm trying to get everything ready for getting up really early. This time, I am going to get ready quickly. I'm going to be up at 5 with them and on the track by 6. I don't know if that will happen, but that's the goal. Yeah, so I will probably see you tomorrow. Good morning. It's day 6 and I have left Stanley as I'm feeling much better in my tummy, and I had a big breakfast this morning and woke at 20 to 5 and packed up camp so I could leave with Yana and Cliff. So I wasn't coming up to Brinkley Bluff on my own because there's a lot of elevation. You can see the terrain, it's very hilly. It's beautiful. The elevation, I've been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes and we're up at 1,000 meters already. Started at about 750. So that's quite a lot in 5 kilometers. Yeah, so I think I'm about halfway there by distance, but not by time. It'll probably take me another 3 hours to get to the top. And it's a dry camp, so you can see my pack is absolutely enormous. I have got 6 litres of water, at least, maybe a little bit more. I have got a 7-day food carry, which I think is about 4.5 to 5 kilos, and all my normal gear. So I think I'm carrying about 22, 23 kilos. And it's hilly and hard, but I love it. This is where I've just come from. You can see some people walking along there, but it's pretty much all the way along, and it's just beautiful. The breeze is cool, the sun's not too hot. Oh, what a privilege to be out here in this. Look at that. Absolutely. It's the most stunning thing ever. Hard work, as you can hear I'm puffing. There we go, 360. Look at this. Day and night. That's not even the hot, but it is the heat. Just extraordinary. The cooler weather is such a blessing. Okay, onwards. for me, and I think it's Wednesday, and I'm on the top of Brinkley Bluff, and I've seen the most extraordinary sunrise I think I've ever seen. Had a really good sleep, didn't fully close the fly of my tent, so I could see the stars. It was really mild up here and a little bit breezy. You can hear the wind now, and you can see there's a fair bit of wind. But it was a lovely evening, and I said goodbye to Yana and Cliff this morning just in case I don't catch up with them. They left about 20 minutes ago. Today's a fairly short section for me. I'm just going to Birthday Waterhole, which is only about 8 kilometres away, and it's going to take 3.5 hours. It's a lot of steep descent, which I'm pretty slow at, so I'm having another short day after yesterday, which was quite short and lovely and restful, and I love my camp chair because I can just sit around. And then after that I'll be into section 5, and that's 2 days of apparently really hard stuff, the hardest on the trail, and I'll be on my own for that unless I meet people tonight. So yeah, but feeling good. It's a bit sad to say goodbye to people, but such is life, you meet new people. Yeah, that's it from me for now. I think my pack's a lot lighter today. I've only probably got about maybe 18, maybe 19 kilos with the food, probably 18. I've got about 3 litres of water, and I've eaten some of the food, so that'll bring the weight down. So today should be a little bit more comfortable, and it's not going to be as hot. I think the forecast top is about 25. So I'm going to say goodbye to these spectacular views and see what else I might see as I go down. This is Stewart's Pass, where you can camp for the night. It's day 8, I think. Yeah, it's Thursday. It's day 8, and it's 9:10 in the morning. I've been going for 40 minutes. I've done about 2.2 kilometers, and I'm just at Spencer Gorge. So the track today, I'm going from section 4-5 Trailhead to Fringe Lily Creek, and the first section was on trail, and then the next section up Spencer Gorge is no trail, just boulders, and then eventually I'll get to the Razorback Ridge line, obviously, and apparently it's pretty sketchy, so it'll be fun. And then I head down, descend into Fringe Lily. So I've had to carry water today. It's another dry camp. I've got 5 and a bit litres of water. I don't know how much food I've got, but my pack's probably about 20 kilos, but I feel okay. I was really fatigued yesterday. So I only did 3.5 hours, and then tried to go for a walk to Birthday Waterhole, but turned around and came back. I was just too stuffed. It's a waterhole. I think I'm a bit spoiled being out here as long as I am, because I'm no longer super impressed. There you go. So this is really pretty. I'm on my own now. I just met someone, Cass, she's ahead of me, and I met a couple of other people, but they're all going through the Hugh Gorge tonight, and I just don't have it in my legs. That's a 9.5-hour day. And I'm on schedule, so there's no need to rush. This is exactly what I came for, to take my time, sit in my camp chair, enjoy the beautiful landscape. I've got to say the trailhead wasn't particularly beautiful, but it was nice to relax, and I do enjoy just having some time to myself. And I listened to an audiobook for, I don't know, half an hour, because there was solar charging at the shelter, which actually worked, which is amazing. And yeah, this is why creek beds are not really my favorite, because this is the track. It's just rock everywhere. This part was pretty easy, but most of it today is going to be like this. This is my lunch spot. Oh, not lunch, snack. Taking my pack off, having a little rest. It's been pretty hard going, getting up the gorge. It's beautiful, but there's a lot of rock kind of scrambly stuff, and it's very slow. I've been in here for an hour and a half. Yeah, an hour and a half. Since I got into the gorge, of just going up like that. That's the trail there. So I've stopped to have a snack, keep my salts up, and have some electrolytes, and I'm going to have to crack out a jacket because the wind is really cold today, so it's one extreme to the other. Yeah, it's beautiful. I've passed a few people. There's a World Expedition group out here who are carrying day packs and car supported. They are so lucky. And another family who's, I'm assuming the mum is car supporting them as well. So yeah, I'm the only crazy person that I've seen that after everybody else left who's got a 20 kilo pack climbing up rocks in a gorge. And I'm doing this for fun. Go figure. So right at the bottom of that gully is where I've come from. Somewhere right down there. Whew. Track. Razorback Ridge. Pretty windy. I haven't got much choice but to go forward, so let's go. This is crazy. I have literally just come down there. And it's mental. It's mental. And this is where I'm going. I've got a big heavy pack and it is brutally hard. Brutally hard. Yep, I climbed down there. Oh my goodness. Here's the rest of the view. It's a bit less windy here for the moment too. Check it out. Oh, sun. Nice. I'm on top of the world. Like, it's just not mood-wise. Mood-wise, I'm feeling a bit wrecked. So I've decided to stop ridge, I've got a little shelter. I'll show you in a second. And I've got views all around. And I've stopped behind this rocky thing where it's a bit less windy. I'm going to have some hummus and veggie wraps for lunch. The wind's quite cold though, so I've popped my jacket on. Oh, I'm never looking in the right place, sorry. I haven't seen anyone else for hours. It's 1:45, so I don't know. I've been going for like over 4 hours. I don't think I'm too far from camp, so maybe another hour, but I'm hungry. My whatever gastro thing I had that was putting me off, my appetite is back. And I've eaten all my snacks today and I am still hungry. That's a good sign. That's a good sign because I've been working hard. Yeah, it's lovely up here. I feel so lucky. I was a bit not miserable, but I wasn't loving the downhills. My knees were hurting and I was a bit scared going on down that really sketchy section. I don't get scared very often when I'm hiking, but that literally was quite scary. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the day brings. Right, those veggies look good, hey? Look at the carrots. They look like they did when they were cooked. It's amazing. I love my dehydrator. Such a food nerd. Where the track goes, and here's a stick that I can hang my bag on, and I have to swim around there, but the stick is probably too high for me to reach on the other side, and I'm not sure I can get my heavy pack down onto that little knobbly hook thing. I'm going to wait for some people. Hopefully that doesn't take too long, but I am here quite early. It's only about 9:30. At least I've got nice views while I wait. I'll have some snacks and think about what I'm going to do. Yep.
Mike says, do you want me there?
After I'd been waiting on that ledge for about half an hour trying not to panic, a group of 4 people came from the other direction and they were happy to help me as long as I swam first. So one of the lovely men in the group waded over to that ledge that you can see that man climbing up now, and I broke up my pack into smaller bags and handed it down to him. He was standing where that lady is at the bottom. And so I handed my things down and he ferried them back across to the bank. And once he'd done that, I jumped in and swam in the reverse of what you just saw. It was not lovely, as he said. It was freezing cold. So I could feel myself going into hypothermic shock pretty quickly. So I rugged up on the opposite bank in my wet weather gear and watched these people as they attempted to navigate 4 big packs up over that ledge.
Yeah. Is there a space where I can put another pack? Hang on, Amanda. You're not going to get it. No? Don't fall in after it.
When the original group were about halfway through getting their bags to the other side, 2 other guys turned up, and you can see on the right hand side there the man in blue is trying to rock climb his way around the water. The others warned him against doing that, but his friend told me that he'd been rock climbing in America for the last 10 months, and he actually made it around, and so he was able to walk around the back of the waterhole and then come up onto that ledge and help his friend get his bag up, and then he just climbed up the rock because he was about 6'3", so not everybody swims.
Across to the other side of View Gorge. It was freezing and the sun is out now, which is gorgeous, but about half an hour ago or an hour ago when I went through, there was no sun. Yeah, it was a little in shade and the wind is really high and cold, and I put all my wet weather gear straight on and there was a lot of swearing. What an experience. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was anxiety provoking and a lot more than people let on. So if anyone tells you it's easy, it's just totally not. Yeah, but it's done now, and I feel like that was the thing that was stressing me out the most about this whole trip. And yeah, now I've got an hour downhill to Hugh Gorge where I'm going to stay for the night, and that'll be it for the day, and it's only 11 o'clock, so made a nice early start and I'm enjoying this sun, so I might stay here a little bit longer before I head into the gorge. That's where oh no, hang on, you're looking at, that's where I'm going. Behind me, down into the gorge there, so it'll be shady. And I've just left Hugh Gorge campsite where there were heaps of people, the most people I've seen at any campsite so far, at least 10, maybe more, and it was very cold, and I was snug and toasty in my lovely quilt, so I'm very happy I had that. But this is very different from where I've been over the last few days. And it's going to be like this for the next few days. Oh, that's a bit glary. I'm staying at Rocky Gully tonight. That's only a 4-hour walk from the last campsite, and there are a couple of other people who are going to be there. So that feels encouraging to know that other people will be there at camp tonight. I was missing having Yana and Cliff around. The last few days I've been on my own, and it's fine. But it's not the same, so I'm happy about that. Sitting and having a snack break in the perfect spot. This is my view. Under a tree in the shade on a nice flat rock, and having some snacks, and yeah, life's feeling pretty good right now. Good morning. It is day 11 for me, and I am heading from Rocky Gully to Ellery Creek North, which is about 13 kilometres and should take me about 5 hours. Still in the Alice Valley, and you can see it's a lot, I mean it's undulating, but it's a lot flatter. And we've got the Chewings Range on that side, which you can see, and then behind me here is the Heavitree Range. And they're remarkably different. The Heavitree Range is really red, it doesn't have a lot of vegetation growing on it, it's very jagged. The Chewings Range is really rounded and has a lot more green. Not sure why. I think like the Chewings Range is quartzite. It's something to do with the sedimentary layers. I did read about it, but I'm not sure I really understand geology, so I'll leave that to the experts.
Here are the little tomatoes that Meg was telling me about on these plants. I hadn't seen them yesterday, but there you go. Apparently you can eat them. Little purple one. Lovely spot to stop and have lunch. A nice view. This is my little spot where I stopped for lunch, put my mat out. This is my view that I was just showing you.
And it's a good day. It's about 1:30 and I haven't seen very many people on the trail today. I've only seen a couple and two blokes separately going towards Hugh Gorge. And there was another guy who realised he'd gone the wrong way to Ellery Creek North, which is where I'm going, instead of going to Ellery Creek South where his food drop is. So I saw him come back from the way he'd gone. And my Chilean friends have gone to Ellery South, so I had to say goodbye to them. But apparently American Meg is up at Ellery, but she'll be gone by the time I get there, but I hope to see her in a couple of days. Yeah, feeling good today. I'm a bit tired, but I'm happy. I just feel like the smooth, easy trail has been such a physical and mental relief. I think I hadn't realised how much of a toll the concentrating on every step was taking on me mentally. And so the last 2 days have been really nice, and I think I've got one more kind of easy-ish day before I get back into the rocks. And then the rest of the trail is apparently rocks. Oh well, such is life. I do commit to doing these crazy things, so I guess I'll just keep going. On day 12, and I have already walked nearly 10 kilometres from Ellery Creek North, and I'm on my way to Serpentine Gorge, which is another 2 kilometres away, and I'm just stopping to have a break because I've got heaps of time, heaps. So early in the day, it's been really nice, easy walking. It's quite cool. It's only about 17 degrees. It's lovely in the sun. It's just beautiful. It's very quiet. There's no one around. I haven't seen any people today going in either direction. The young women that I stayed with in camp last night and the guy who rolled in late, Brian, were all going the other way. And I don't know that there's anyone coming through behind me. So we'll see who I meet at Serpentine Gorge tonight. I do have to walk another 1.6 kilometres beyond the camp to go and get my food drop. I don't know why they put it 800 metres from the campsite, where they have. So that's annoying, because had I known, I would have just brought an extra dinner and had that in camp tonight, and I could have just picked up my stuff on the way past in the morning. But hey, I got time. Yeah, that's all really. My feet are sore from the rocky ground. My pack is light. I'm guessing it may weigh about, 14 kilos. It's probably the lightest it's been the whole trip, because I don't have any food left and I'm not carrying that much water. about 1100 meters elevation. Climbed, I don't know how much I've climbed, a lot. It's beautiful and sunny, but you can hear the wind. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got another 10k's to go to get to Serpentine Chalet Dam today, but I'm just going to dawdle up here because it is spectacular. I worked really hard for it. I'm tired. I picked up food yesterday and my pack is heavy. I don't luckily have to carry extra water, but on day 13 I'm just feeling the fatigue, the accumulation of not having had a rest day since day 5, and I'm pooped. I'm still in good spirits, but I'm really looking forward to Friday, which is tomorrow and the next day of walking, and then I'll be in Ormiston for a rest day for 2 nights.
The wrinkles in these rocks were made by water millions and millions of years ago, and they're found all over the place up on those ridges, and I found them really, really interesting to look at.
That is where I've come down from, and I'm now at 800 meters elevation. Green. Reminds me a little bit of the Grampians. So there, along there is a concrete dam wall that was built in the 60s sometime to dam the water for a chalet that was near here apparently. And now it's just this kind of gross looking pond, which I, for one, will not be swimming in. Good afternoon. So I normally do these at the start of the day when I'm all fresh and happy because I've just woken up. But it's now 4 o'clock and I've gotten into Serpentine Chalet Dam at about 1:30. And it was quite warm today. The forecast top was only 18, but I think it was hotter than that, and it was definitely very exposed. So 14 kilometers took me 6 hours. It was hard work and I'm pretty tired. I think I was a bit dehydrated too. I haven't really been to the toilet. No, it's a bit too much information, but it's important out here to keep an eye on things like that for your health. So I've been I've had a couple of bottles of electrolytes, and I've had 2 cups of tea. I've eaten snack foods to try and build up my energy levels because I was struggling this afternoon. I just had no power, no energy whatsoever. Look at that. So tomorrow is a big day. It's one section that's 29 kilometers that has no water on it. So I'm going to take 2 days to do that, which means another big water carry to go into Ormiston. I'm planning to get up early. I'm a little bit concerned because my body just did not want to cooperate today. Yeah, it'll be fine. The other girls are going to stay at the same camp as me, and Nina, they're really sweet. They're from Melbourne, in their 20s, I'm guessing. And Nina just said, "Are you feeling okay?" And it's really nice to know that somebody's kind of checking on me to see if I'm all right. So I'm happy that they're going to be out there doing the same thing. And if I get desperate, there is apparently a pond at Waterfall Gorge that I can filter water from. So I won't die, but it's going to be warm tomorrow, so I think that's going to be pretty tough. I am so looking forward to getting to Ormiston for my rest day. My body is wrecked. You can probably see it in my eyes a little bit. Yeah, it's good. This is an amazing experience, and I've probably said this many times before, but it is just so hard. So hard. And being out here longer and doing theoretically easier days actually doesn't make it much easier, because I realized that I've had to carry extra food and extra water on several occasions, whereas everyone else who's going faster, maybe 14-15 days, and they're doing those sections in one day, and they're not carrying the huge amounts of water and the extra day of food that I have to carry. So swings and roundabouts. I don't actually think my body could have gone for longer. I think 5 or 6 hours is probably my limit with such a heavy pack on such hard terrain. So I'll let you know how I get on tomorrow.
On day 14, my attempt to make it to Hermit's Hideaway began with an early start at 6:30 a.m. to beat the heat. I was first out of camp, just slightly ahead of Nina, Georgia and Sally from Melbourne. I haven't done much hiking in the dark, but the trail is fairly smooth this time, apart from a short rocky section through Innalunga Pass. It's worth getting up early to watch the sun slowly rising and colouring the valley and the mountains. We were blessed to be walking in the shade of the range most of the morning, and the scenery was very pretty. Someone actually said to me they thought this section was boring, but I can't imagine what they were expecting.
This is where I'm going up.
We only emerged into full sun as we approached Waterfall Gorge. I stopped here for lunch and felt very glad that I wasn't camping there, and it was only 11 a.m. when I arrived. After the gorge, the climb up Mount Giles began. It's a steep one at 400 metres elevation over 1 kilometre, and I was happy to see switchbacks at the start. But soon they gave way to rocky scrambling, and I was in direct sun for most of the climb. It was pretty taxing, and I drank more water than I anticipated, leaving me less for tomorrow as there's no facilities or water at the campsite. I arrived in camp at 1:30 p.m. feeling quite dazed from the heat and the exertion. After some rest and some food, I felt a lot better, though my feet were still sore. Walking on rocks all day is really punishing. Today was challenging, but the spectacular views from the top of these tough climbs is worth it every single time. Day 15 started with beautiful sunrise views over the ranges and out to Mount Sonder in the distance, which is my final destination. The trail out of Hermit's Hideaway follows the ridgeline for several kilometres before a relatively easy descent down to the valley floor. In the valley, the trail then undulated on fairly smoothish paths through shrubs and trees, but this made it difficult to deal with my umbrella, and it kept getting caught up in the branches. But it was too hot for me to put it away, so I persevered. Along the way, I was delighted to meet these 2 spinifex pigeons, one of whom charged me and showed me his tail feathers, which is a mating ritual. Either that, or he was trying to get me away from his lady by looking like a warrior. They weren't bashful or shy, and you can see that they kept coming up to me to investigate what I was doing. They're weird little creatures and they make a funny noise, which unfortunately I didn't capture.
And there's my destination, Mount Sonder.
I was woken at 11 p.m. to a severe windstorm that lasted for the next 12 hours. It ripped the pegs out of the sand despite my use of extra rocks to hold the tent down, and the fly was flapping around noisily. Just like in Fringe Lily Creek, I could hear the gusts roaring towards me, and overall I got very little sleep as a result.
I think the shower could do with a bit of a clean. Beautiful, smooth trail. Perfect for a hot afternoon. This is grade 3. And as you can tell, it's grade 3 because there's hardly any rocks on the trail. And it's bliss. Absolute bliss on my poor feet. That would be the trail straight across that water. I'm going to find a way around. So of stops halfway, well not halfway, but you can see most of the creek bed's dry, so I was able to go upstream a little bit and just walk across. So no swimming for me this morning, which is great news. I haven't had to do any wet creek crossings yet. I've managed to get around all of them. Not that there've been that many, but yeah. So today is day 17. I didn't really have a rest day in Ormiston yesterday. I kind of did. I got a late start and I walked just 10 k's to Fink River and stayed in the shelter there. Headed off about lunchtime, arrived I think about 3:30, just before 4. I thought I had the place to myself for a while, and then later on another guy from Melbourne turned up. He's doing the whole trek in 9 days, which is amazing. So I'll probably see him later. He's still packing up. It's 7:30. Legs feel good because I did have a shorter day and it was easy terrain. It was only grade 3 terrain. Such a blessed relief. So not exactly a rest day, but a rest-ish kind of day, which, you know, helps a lot. Today I've got 15 kilometres to Rocky Bar Gap. So a little bit of a change of plans just to try and get ahead of this rain and heat. So really hot today, 29, and then wet tomorrow. So hence I walked yesterday and wanted to get a little bit further down the trail. Don't want to get to Red Bank too early though, because I've already got 2 nights there and a 3rd night in the same place where there isn't anything except a shelter. It doesn't thrill me. Yeah. I've got enough food, but it just sounds a bit boring. So we'll see what today brings. That's Mount Sunda. So today seems to be the day for water crossings, because up there you can see the trail marker. I have done some recce up and downstream of the creek, and I've checked far out, and apparently it's an easy rock hop, but we've had a lot of rain this year, so there is no easy rock hop. I'm going to have to wade in. So I have taken off my boots, put on my Crocs, and hoping that it's not past my knees. I'll let you know how I get on. So I made it across, and the water was above my knees, but only just, and so I'd rolled my pants up far enough that they did not get wet, and everything was quite uneventful. There was kind of a little sandy, like a sandbar. So if I followed that across, I meant I didn't have to go as deep. So I am now having a peanut butter bar, which are my favourites as a treat, and having a little rest, wait for my feet to dry, and put my boots back on. It's a bit of a pain having to take everything off, but really it's part of the adventure. Yeah, I've already made 5 kilometres, and I've only been going an hour and a half, so the terrain's been pretty easy so far, which is really nice. And I'm about to look up how much further I've got to go to Red Bank, because I could push through and not have to walk in the rain tomorrow. I could end up regretting that if the rain is not that much, because I don't actually mind walking in the rain, but walking in the rain when it's hot and humid in a raincoat, no thank you. So we'll see. There we go. Mount Sunda looking dark and broody today. This is my last high point of the trail before I ditch my pack at Red Bank and summit Mount Sunda. Oh, look at that. It's very windy, but it is really beautiful. A bit of sun poking through over there on the ridge. But what an amazing place. It's pretty windy, but there are campsites here that have these walls built around them. There's another one behind there for shelter from the wind. There's another one just over there. I'm going to stop and have some lunch in here before I do the descent. of day 19, which is actually my last day, and I am on my way to the car park to get picked up. So I finished a day early, and I've spent 2 nights at Red Bank Gorge, and I tried to summit Mount Sonder yesterday, but the visibility was really bad, so I made it up to the lookout, which is 300 meters, 330. The summit's 700, so I got about halfway there and took a break at the saddle, watched the cloud just rolling in, and then next thing you knew I was in a whiteout, so there was very little point in me continuing other than just for the sake of it, so I could say I'd summited. But honestly, by this stage I've got absolutely nothing to prove. I wasn't that interested. The views are apparently good, but not as good as what we've seen, and as you can tell by how rugged up I am this morning, it's cold. I have no idea what temperature it is, but it's pretty cold. The wind is blustery, and I'm just happy to be going home. I managed to change my shuttle bus from Tuesday to today, so today's Monday, so I'm getting out 24 hours early, and I feel really happy about that. I thought maybe I'd be disappointed to be finishing, but it's time. Can't wait to see my friends and family. So if you've watched this to the end, thank you very much for following along and for your support and for your messages while I've been out here. It really made a difference, because this has been hard. I've crossed rivers and streams and walked in creek beds and swum across waterholes and climbed mountains and gorges, and I've met dingoes, and I've been eaten alive by mosquitoes, and it just goes on. And it's been one of the hardest things I've ever done, but because it's been hard, it's so satisfying to have done that by myself. So yeah, that's it from me. I'm on my way back to Alice in the next hour, and then home to Melbourne. So I'll see you next time.